We're off to Portuguese lessons this morning in the village. Whilst these two speak Portuguese, I don't. So they're coming along for moral support because I'm dreading it, basically.
And Sandra doesn't do well in crowds of people, so she needs a bit of moral support to be in a room with loads of people. So the other thing is what we're going to do today. The guy isn't a teacher. He's just a guy in our village who speaks really, really good English. A Portuguese guy, I might add. Speaks very, very good English. And last week I didn't go because I was too busy on the farm, but the girls went. And was it before or after the lesson?
It's after the lesson.
So it was, well, you say.
He took us round the church and we found out an awful lot about the history of our village, that a king of Portugal was actually born in our village. And he just showed us lots of like really interesting stuff that we thought, do you know what, you guys might like to see this and find out a bit more about our village.
So we've had a word with him and he's more than happy to take us some of the museums. And this is obviously the first time I've spoken to him via Facebook, but I'll speak to him a bit more this morning and see if he's happy to show us a bit more of the history of the village. It won't be today, but we'll have some of it today, but I'll try and arrange another day with him that we can go and walk around some of the buildings there. So it's a really interesting medieval village. So, and
where we're actually going is a prison cell. Yeah,
it's the old prison in the village, so which you might have seen in other videos, the square, but we'll explain it to you again in a minute.
But right now,
of that, yeah, we
have to go.
Off we go.
Right, see you in class. We're bang on time for lessons. Looks like there's some of the others up there waiting.
We are back from Portuguese classes. Unfortunately, we didn't film anything because the teacher was having a bit of a confusion with where the classrooms were and everything, and he had to leave by 1:30, so we didn't get to see any of that this week. But he did say in the next upcoming weeks we will be seeing some more historical places in our village. So if any of you guys have got any questions about our village or the history of our village, please don't forget to leave them in the comments below. And I'd like to take this time to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been supporting our channel with liking, commenting and sharing our videos. And for the rest of you who support us via Buy Me a Coffee, we are extremely grateful for all of your support on the channel.
What's up with you? What's up with you? What's up with you, little one? Hey, what's up with Tilly? What you want? What do you want, you silly thing? Hey, what you doing? You're too crazy. And it's beginning to spit with rain, so pretty chilly. So we were going to go around the farm this morning and clear up some of the random bits we've got laying around, bits of fencing and other things before. So what will happen now with the rain, and you can see, I think on our channel and lots of others, the grass is growing like crazy, and on our farm it does grow like crazy. If you've got things on the ground and whatnot, you leave it another 10 days, you will go in the field and you won't find it. It'll be buried with grass. So we're going to go around and clear up some of these bits and hopefully get it done before this rain appears. It's cold, it's 13 degrees, and I think it's gonna rain reasonably hard today. What are you two doing? They're having a good play. Go on, Tilly. Go on, Eddie. Where's she gone? Hey, what's up? Here she comes. Whoa. Poor old Eddie can't keep up. Go on, Eddie. Go on, Eddie. You big softy. On a positive note, with all the rain, It's been 5 days since I sowed that, and it's coming up. Well, as you can see, it's all starting to sprout, which is pretty good. But also you can see the ground's a bit uneven, and it's not as even, the grass. You can see it's in strips because of the clumps of grass that were being balled up when I was trying to rake it in, because I couldn't get it. Like here would be perfect, it's just soil. But then when you look over close to the tree there, all these balls of grass and bits and bobs, when you come with a fine tool to rake this in ever so gently, that creates big ball and it just scoops the dirt along. So I literally had to just use the plough to tickle the seeds in. It'll germinate in the balder areas, but obviously the seeds deeper down, it'll take longer before it comes up. So you see the second field, that's all starting to green up now, and this one. And this rain will be annoying for not getting on, but it'll be perfect for letting this lot set off, because this will really help us for feeding the goats. Because I haven't been able to do that much larger piece of land I've got up the top, which you might well have seen in some previous videos that I cleaned ready for seeding, and I did sow something in it. Hasn't got any fencing, so the goats can come in and all the rest of it and eat what they want as it's at this height, and then they'll nip the tops off and this will stop growing. So it feels pretty good to have 3 fenced in fields that we can sow. I've got that one there, but because it's our back garden, I don't really want to take away the grass we've got growing in there. The goats enjoy eating that, so I want to leave that they can just eat the grass, but it stays as grass for our back garden. And these 2 fields obviously we're going to sow with whatever's required. Let's go and start clearing up some of this rubbish before this lot decides it's going to pour down with rain.
So it has started to rain outside, and of course we've ran out of water, so Dad being a coffee addict, we are going to have to go out and get some water in the rain. So I thought I'd bring you guys along with us.
this is the lever you're meant to turn to pull these pins out, and I think you can see that's broken. The weld is broken there, so it's another thing for me to take off and weld up. Right, I'm just doing up the bolts. I managed to weld it up. If I'm honest, I'm not 100% happy with the weld, but it will do more than good enough for this. Just trying to get the tension right on this. And then I'm going to go across the road and I'm going to clean out the ditch, which was my intention this morning. And I'll take you across there and show you what I'm going to do. And then I can come back and finally straighten this up to how it really should be. Right, well the spring is going to go back on, and all they've done here for these links is they've chopped a bit of chain up. I don't know if you can tell that's a link of a chain. You find that on a lot of agricultural machinery. There we go, that's back on there. That's it. Like I say, it's far from perfect. Let's go and get on with cleaning this ditch out like I intended to do about 3 hours ago. And that's the pins I've just fixed, and they should go in that bracket there. So you should see that the bucket should swing down. There we go, and now it's locked on. Anyone can see that I'd rather do it from that side. The bank's lower and I'll get a better shape on the little ditch. But this is like no man's land here, this tiny little triangle, and obviously these eucalyptus are sprouting from the guy that's got the eucalyptus there, and they're a nightmare. It's like these two big ones. I'm really not sure who they belong to. I think these two big ones might actually even belong to, I don't know, like the camera, the city camera or the junta, because when the guy was in there with the big digger grabbing the trees and chopping them off, he didn't touch these two, but then they're not trees that big, these are 4 or 5 times, they're enormous. So you can see how big they are, and I'm worried that if they fall over they'll hit that wall over there. And you see how big that wall is, it'll be a nightmare to fix that. And I think you can see how deep that is there. The pipe is right down there. That takes my water down to my tank over there. So it needs fixing. Because I can often clean this out and then, I don't know, 3 months later it's filled back in again with all the leaves, and the wild boar pass through here as well. So I really need to put a tube in here, like I've got under there, connect it to that one, put it in here and then bury it. I think it is the best option. Well, the other day I fixed the levers here, which are the quick release levers to remove the bucket on my tractor. And as you can see, this little bit here is broken. It broke off years ago when it was only about a year old. This got bent on a log and it snapped a bit of metal here. I took it all apart. I welded it up the other day, half expecting it not really to work, and I was right. But we lost all the footage of me doing that, sort of repairing this. It was only a quick little bit. And in good YouTube fashion, my tractor has decided to break itself again so I can re-record it, which I think's a good thing. Don't worry, you're not going to see a long-winded welding job. I'll bring this back when I've actually fixed it and explain why I've had to sort of weld it again, which is it's a needed job because now it's coming into winter. We've got a lot of sort of the burnt trees from the fire to remove. I've got some areas that I actually really want to clean quite thoroughly. A couple of large trees which want cutting down. So this bucket's going to get a lot of abuse this winter, and I really need that working. So I'll get on with it and I'll bring you back in a second when I've finished it.
What are you up to, Dad?
Me? Well, oh yeah, I told the people earlier I tried to repair this, which is the swivel handle for the tractor, but it's got a big countersunk hole in there and it cracked because they didn't make this bit of metal wide enough. So there's literally just that amount of metal holding all the tension of you, and it and obviously when I welded it yesterday I couldn't get enough weld in there. I had to re-drill out this. So after it broke, I thought, you know what, by the time I mess around and weld that up, I've made another one. I just made that out of one piece of steel. But how to bend thick steel like this is you can cut most of the way through it, and that allows you to bend it, and then you can weld it up afterwards and it won't open again. So that is basically the same as that, but now you can see the amount of material there, but it's over twice as thick. So that has got a lot more support there, because you could see before it literally, I think the metal finished there, and how they were expecting that thing not to just split. So bit of a useless handle, New Holland. I hope you've changed it since, because it's a bit rubbish. Well, it's on there. Well, that's the bit I've just made, this bit here. So like that, and it opens it, and these pins stay open on the ends, and then like that, and then they lock into the back of the bucket. So I think, bar me destroying it whilst working aggressively, I think that is what I might call, don't even want to say the word, fixed. So let's hope that is. Right, I can put the bucket back on now and lock it. There we go. Well, that wasn't so bad. I wish I'd done that the other day. Would have been a lot easier. Oh well, such is life.
So our first workaway is back here in Portugal, and he has been kind enough to take us for lunch, so we are off out to lunch with him today.
Well, we've just turned up to this restaurant that's meant to be open and it's closed. So we're going to go and find somewhere else. Although the view's quite nice. We found it. In Sean's lovely old Merc. You might have seen it in some of our videos in the front driveway. Come on then, Mole. So I think we're going in there for lunch. Good, man. Tens a mesa por 5? Olá, bom dia.
Tem mesa reservada?
Não, reservada não.
Só na esplanada.
Ok, está bem.
Quer na esplanada?
Sim.
Sim?
Pode ser?
Olha, o nosso menu é este aqui.
Sim.
Tá bem? O menu é este.
Ok.
Vejam aqui, ou tirem uma fotografia e depois escolhem na mesa. É como vos der mais jeito.
Ok, obrigado. Just asked if we have a reserved seat, which we don't, so we're going to have to sit outside. Restaurant Legata. Olá, boa tarde. Well,
Feeding time at the zoo.
yeah, well, it's not been super fast service, has it? But it looks alright. Doesn't look steaming hot though, mate. You might want to start that.
Well, I'm getting a pile of lettuce.
Yeah, you're not used to that, are you?
What are you doing, cat? You want some of that? Connor did actually alright. Right?
Yeah,
That's
it
the
looks
pork
alright.
grill mix.
Beautiful.
You asked for a salad. Yes, cat. I've got goat. Funny that, isn't it? Goat farmer eating goat.
Bacalhau com natas.
Bacalhau com natas.
What is natas?
And you don't have anything yet.
Winner, no dinner.
Yeah, winner, no dinner.
Loser, no dinner.
You've got duck, have you?
Duck and rice.
So what did everybody think to their meal then?
Good.
Good?
Very, very good.
Goat was very tasty. Your lamb tasted like lamb. Yeah, looks like everybody's pretty much cleaned their plates.
I even ate my orange.
Do you want more? There's some that came with my goat.
Orange.
Trying to keep it healthy.
Yeah.
It's a mixed diet.
But yeah, can recommend that. Lagarto.